Well, that means that tomorrow's video for YouTube guys are going to be bummed because they're not going to be able to see the comments.
Correct.
So I should probably say well, sorry YouTube guys, the comments were broken today, so you're not getting the cool video that you normally get. You're going to get this video. Whatever this video is, it should probably just be
Control
directly out of...
F4.
It's not Windows. It's not Windows or Mac. It's just this box.
No, I mean, Mike can say, yeah, of course. I'm sure you did doors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's
custom
off?
doors.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
It's off next Monday.
We're all off next Monday, which brings up a great point. So, let's start the show. Thanks so much for coming today, guys.
Yep.
Apparently, we're having some technical difficulty on our ends. We'll get it figured out for next time. So, if comments are off, my bad. We'll figure it out. Next Monday is a holiday here, obviously in the U.S., so we're not going to be working, so there will be no live show next Monday. But the following Monday, we'll be back with a special guest, which I'm not going to talk about yet because don't want to, you just have to wait and see. But next Monday, there'll be nothing other than hopefully you guys having a day off like us and enjoying yourselves and partying it up safely and having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
So if we miscall you tonight, like I don't say, hey, so-and-so, like, good evening from Portugal, what's happening, guys?
Brian,
Lewis,
Brandon,
Carlos,
Tony, John.
Modesto, California. If we miss those, I'm sorry. Normally I can read them up here. They're up on a teleprompter for me to see. Tonight it's broke. Freaking awesome. So we do the best we can with what we got. What's the new Pioneer Double DIN models? It is a AVH 4400 NEX. There's a AVIC 6400 NEX and a AVIC 8400 NEX. And what those are going to be giving you is wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and the current updated OS that is on the 24 and the 2300s and the 1400.
What's high, Johnny?
So it's going to be that operating system finally moving forward. You're going to have the dual USB still. You're only going to get capacitive touch on the 8400s. The 44 and the 64 are going to be clear resistive, just like their counterparts right now. The 4400 is going to stay in the 4000 lineup, which means it's a detachable face. They're finally adding in, because it has dual USB, they're finally reading in the ability to read NTFS as opposed to just FAT32. So that's going to be a nice feature that it's only taken them 5-6 years to add into these radios, so that'll be cool.
Yeah.
They should be arriving probably early next week, so we'll be able to do like a first look on YouTube. We'll open them up to show you the radios. They do have a new look to them compared to their predecessors, but more or less it's going to look like the current 23, 24 would be my guess, according to the pictures
Hello,
we've seen.
Norway. Yeah, okay, so this is interesting. I have a 2016 F-150 with the Focal components.
Yes.
Not that happy with them.
Okay.
What would you recommend?
Well, the first thing I'd ask is how much power you have going to the Focal components.
Correct.
And which Focal components do you have? So there's
the plug and play.
Plug and plays. There's the
flags.
Yeah, there's like 6 different series of Focal. So a little bit more information there. And there again, what kind of radio you have? How did you integrate into it? Is it a factory deck? Is it a non-factory deck? So there's a lot of things that can factor in why a speaker doesn't sound good. You know, if you have an aftermarket radio, which one do you have? If you have a factory radio, well, that could explain it. How did you integrate into to add them? Do you just have a factory radio? The Focal's attached to it.
Yeah.
Which that would not be great either. So there's a lot of things. If you're just looking for a speaker recommendation, then, you know, the Focals are nice, but there are other manufacturers that make 6x9 components. Alpine makes the...
Thank you, Jeff Dayton.
X-type that are really nice. So it just depends. Do you have 6x9s? There's a lot going on there as far as that goes.
Alright, so Danny, which will be better as far as bass output? Rockford Punch 312 power box or the kicker box with the passive...
Turn your volume down.
Huh?
Turn your volume down.
I'm sorry, my bad. Okay.
Go ahead now.
Alright, the Rockford P312.
Okay.
Or the kicker with the box, passive radiator. Or the Pioneer 8601 amp space.
Okay, we're all over the board here. What are we trying to do here? So we have an 8601 and we're trying to power a subwoofer?
No. What would be better? Like the P312?
Okay.
Okay.
So we have a
base.
P312.
Yeah.
The shallow mount kicker comp R box with the passive radiator.
Yeah, correct.
Or a
Pioneer 86.
Or with the Pioneer 8601 to power this. Okay, so I mean, at the end of the day,
8060 1 amp.
Okay, to power 8601. Or either way.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is come up with something small and powerful. I'm gonna go with the P300. Easy enough. The P300 is hard to be beat. It's got plenty of power. It sounds great. It's easy to be removed. I would go with the P300. How does this thing recycle? Where's the new comments? Are they at the top or the bottom?
No. Just go.
I did go down, but mine's like frozen, I guess. So I gotta relaunch it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know.
Cool.
All right. So.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Hey, from Brooklyn. Wow, cool. Modesto.
How can I get a heat shrink 5-star that you guys use?
Well, we custom order those, and right now we're not really looking to sell those at the moment, mainly just because we use it to differentiate our installs from other local install shops. So we really haven't come up with a plan as far as how we're going to deviate.
It's like a signature.
This year, it's not anything we're looking to do, and I understand. I know there's a lot of you guys out there would love to buy them, and we're probably eventually going to sell them. But right now, it's just not anything we can do yet. Mainly because I don't pay for them; Paul pays for them. So if we were to sell them, that would just get to be a headache, and not anything I want to deal with quite
right
at the
now.
moment.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Can you have more than one inline fuse on a power line?
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends what you're trying to do with the... Okay, so the only... Yes, you can. Okay, so fuses and locations do different things for different purposes. So, for example, let's look at a standard install where you put the... You have your battery. This is a battery, and you're going to go through the firewall. So the fuse that's right here next to the battery, the only purpose it serves is to protect your car from that wire that goes to the firewall. It's going to set it on fire if there isn't a fuse there. That's designed to blow if it touches metal, if you get an accident or anything sharp pokes through the shielding of the wire. It's designed to blow. That's why they say put it as close to the battery as possible, because then you're cutting down in the time that it takes for it to realize there's a short, and it pow. Okay, so you're cutting down on the damage. So that's all that fuse is doing. Now, if you have a second battery in the car, you put one next to this battery, and then you put one in the back by the back battery. So you have two fuses there. Now, what we used to do back in the day is before amplifiers would put fuses either on the amplifier or, like a lot of the amplifiers now have like internal protection built into them where they have like circuit breakers built into them. Before that happened, everything just had a power wire sticking out of it. So you go out of that amplifier into a distribution block of some kind, fuse holder distribution block. And that fuse was made to protect the amplifier. The problem with it was that when you have a distribution fuse holder that's 12 inches away from the amplifier, if there's a short that occurs in that amplifier, a 12-inch fuse is not going to protect media transfer problem. No kidding. Is not going to work for us. Meaning it's going to not blow fast enough to protect that amplifier.
Yeah.
So at this point, the reason why we really don't do it too much anymore is for the added resistance. Meaning there's too much resistance that the fuse is adding. So if you don't need it, then don't use it. A distribution block without a fuse holder is way better as far as if you're just trying to do something cosmetic that looks cool, like power distribution. Go for the block and not necessarily the fuse holder. Now, on some of your big SPL style amplifiers, you know, if you're trying to protect the amplifier, good luck. It's really not going to happen. And at that point, you're running like 3 or 4 0 gauge into it. But at the end of the day, the whole idea of the fuse should not be to protect the amplifier. It should be to protect the vehicle from the power wire. That's it. That's really where it's become the most useful. Anything outside of the amplifier isn't going to blow fast enough for the amplifier to actually react to it. You know.
All right. So David, a Pioneer speaker are good. I'm trying to get it for a 2007 Trailblazer.
So Pioneer makes several different layers of speakers. They make TSA, TSD, TSZ speakers.
Yeah.
The TSA speaker is going to be the most inexpensive out of the bunch. The TSDs are going to get you into a high quality, affordable speaker. Those are the ways to go. You know, those are the most popular out of that bunch. And then you have the TSZ, which is their new high-end
speaker.
What is it? What am I looking for here? High definition speaker that are super badass as far as Pioneer speakers go. They sound really nice. So yeah, it just depends on what I feel like every speaker manufacturer has a good, better, best, or entry level, mainstream, expensive. Even Focal makes the Auditor line, which is a inexpensive version of an expensive entry level Focal. So there's lots of different speaker manufacturers that do that.
Budget system.
Okay, budget system.
Yeah, depends how much is the budget.
Well, what are we trying?
Say budget system. For the 2017 RAV4 with JBL, I would like to keep the factory unit and focus on the sound quality.
Well, focusing on the sound quality and keeping the factory units really and then making a budget system really isn't the optimum idea there. Because, all right, so it's a Toyota for one, which means we already have that headache of it being a Toyota. And then you're saying, okay, I want a sound quality system, but I want to keep the factory crappy sounding radio. That means we have to put some kind of processor in there to fix the crappy sounding radio, which then again is going to add to the expense. Now, the expense of the processor and tuning it is going to probably be more than replacing the radio in the first place. I mean, you can get into a DSR-1, which is reasonably priced, but then you're going to have to either A, be able to set it, or B, hire someone to set it for you. So, and those are $300 too. So now you have, okay, you could probably get into a high-end, like a 2300 or 1300 Pioneer for almost the same price and get your preamp level output. So that's one of those things. It's like, I don't know how important it is to keep the factory radio if you're trying to do something that's high quality. So, all right, so let's say best case scenario, you keep the radio and you go into, let's say, an LC7i, which there again is $150 to $200. There, I'm not trying to quote prices, and I'm giving you a ballpark range because I'm not the sales guy, but I'm just trying to rationalize the budget system with sound quality in mind. Now, sound quality automatically implies that we want high-end, nice-sounding speakers. Now, just like we talked about, like the Pioneer TSD speakers is Pioneer's high-quality, good-sounding, reasonably priced speakers. Now we need an amplifier to power those. Pioneer makes a 5-channel amp, the 9605, which is really nice. Rockford makes the Prime 5-channel, which is really nice. They're all budget amplifiers. Kenwood Exelon has the 801.5, which there again is a very budget-conscious amplifier. Now all these have basic high-level input in them, so if you don't want to use any form of processor, you just want to take right, left, front, rear and go directly into the amplifier, you can do that. But there again, what you're putting in is going to be what you're getting out. All you're going to have is basement treble, whatever on the radio to play with. So if that's not going to be enough to do it for you, then it falls back to the originals. Where do we start? You know, if we're starting with just the factory radio, do we want to fix the factory radio or do we just want to replace the factory radio? But easily enough, you could just go to so there's a lot to consider there. And then of course you need a subwoofer of some kind.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to think about when you're trying to build this system and make it sound amazing. It's not just the speaker's amps. It's the source. So if the source sucks, everything else is going to suck along with it.
Yeah. All right. For the Focal, he's not happy with that.
Yes.
He got the plug and play.
Okay.
And he got about like 70 watts.
Okay.
And Pioneer.
He's got a Pioneer radio?
I'm guessing. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
70 watts and Pioneer.
So you're going to need more power then, for one, if you want to go bigger than that. Because really the 70 to 100 watts, that puts you into the Focal, that puts you into the Alpine S-types. If you want louder, better sound, you need to up the amplifier to something, let's say 100 to 110 watts. And then you could either go component, like a 6 and a tweeter, instead of the 6x9, or if you want a higher end 6x9 component, look at the Alpine X Type. Those are going to be a higher end component. If you want to give us a call, we can talk about it, kind of help you out. That'd probably be easier. The phone number is on the show, 727-216-6170. Give Paul a call during the week, and we can come up with some ideas, talk a little bit deeper into that, and maybe come up with a better game
Just
plan
ask
for you.
Dean Tech support.
Okay.
All right. Chris, I pre-ordered a Pioneer AVIC 8400 NEX to replace my 8000 NEX. I had you install in my Highlander.
Okay.
Thinking of adding an audio control epicenter as well.
Okay.
What were your thoughts on the epicenter?
I love the epicenter. There again, it just depends on what your okay. Everything in life, and we talk about this a lot, is expectations. I mean, what are your expectations for whatever it is you're planning on buying?
Yeah.
With an epicenter, it does a couple different things for a couple it does very specific things for certain types of music. So, when we did one, like when we did the Hummer H3, and we kind of showed like Van Halen, 80s style hairband music that just has a lot of, which doesn't have boom to it, kind of sucks.
Hey James,
the type of music that the Latino, dry, old school.
Yeah, Bandai and all that stuff. Yeah.
That doesn't have... That epicenter is designed to really make that stuff sound better. Give it bass that it doesn't have. Mm-hmm. The other side effect is that if you're a bass head and you want just drag, crazy, sloppy, low bass, it does that too, which is kind of where it's found its niche. When it first came out, it was taking that just making it go crazy. I like the epicenter. There again, I was depressed when Audio Control took it out of their amplifiers. I understand why they did it, but yeah, I mean, for me, I feel I'll probably put an epicenter in my car if I ever get to finish it. So yeah,
all right. Do it. I want to install an old school reference 405.
Okay.
The second generation Prius, using a Kenwood Double Dean DDX 9902. Should I use a new amplifier?
So, that was okay, so that's always an interesting question. Do we go old school, new school? I feel, okay, so here's my thought on old school, new school. I like old school stuff, but I feel it's more like we were talking about today, nostalgic. Yeah. Like, there's a couple of amplifiers I wish I would have kept over the years that I've owned and I've gotten rid of, but I wanted to keep them more from the nostalgia, not to actually use. Because I feel that modern amplifiers have evolved so much better. Now, just like the guy that wants to own the 57 Chevy, what does he do with it? He buys it and he modernizes it. He puts new gauges in it, new track, new everything. Very few times you buy something old and want to keep it old. You want to modernize it because there's better stuff that's out. So, do I feel like...
Thank you, kid.
Do I feel like the old stuff is great? Yeah, some of the old stuff still holds up to the new stuff. There's no question about it. But I am of the mindset that I personally would rather have a new product that is of equal quality of the older product. So, for example, if I'm looking at like an Orion 225 HCCA high current amplifier that was... the pinnacle of high current amplifiers back in the 80s and 90s. And it was expensive. It was like $450, I think. Yeah. I sold them. I don't remember back then. But that was an expensive amplifier. If I took that same amount of money now and spent that same amount of money on a modern amplifier, I'm ending up with a freaking amazing amplifier. I'm not going to say I'm going to go buy a $150 amplifier. No, I'm going to spend... So when you look at it like that, I think you're getting a much better product. Like I remember when we sold Macintosh, it was $900 for 50 watts by 4. If I bought a $900 amplifier right now, I'm ending up with an amazing freaking amplifier by today's standards. So that's how I look at that. I don't look at it like, if I had this amp that, no. I'm not just like a $200 amplifier is not going to compare to it, but something of equal value. And I would rather have today's version of it.
All right, what's up, John? What's up, all right, Vaughn, Lance, Indy, Aloha. All right.
So if we're missing any of your stuff today,
yes,
we are having technical technical difficulties on our side.
Thing.
Normally we can actually see the comments display on our screen. If you guys have ever watched the replay of this, you see the comments scroll on there. For some reason today, it's giving us technical difficulty, and we can't see any of that, so I'm relying 100% on him.
Oh, no.
So that's why I'm not jumping in with random stuff.
You can do that.
It's driving me crazy at the moment.
All right.
So I apologize. We'll do the best we can. We're making it work. Which means you guys are going to get a show later this week where we have to test this and figure out what the heck happened.
All right, so Gio, from 1 to 2, how difficult is to replace the head unit on a Tacoma?
The Toyota Tacoma?
Yes.
I wouldn't say it was hard.
No.
I mean, what did we just do Saturday? Well, depends on what your Tacoma.
Yes.
So if we're thinking the last generation Tacomas that has the radio, the silver dash with the radio, and then it has the AC controls underneath it, it's actually pretty straightforward. You pop off the AC controls, you pull the 10mm bolts underneath it, the whole unit comes out, you set it on the bench, you pull the AC, you pull the airbag, little control hazard switch panel out, you build that into the new kit, you pop it all back in.
Yeah.
Is it tight in the dash? It's a tad bit tight.
Yeah.
But it's not real, like, it's not like, oh my gosh, no. The newer one, the brand new one, is like pull, unscrew, it's a cavern. It's tons of room. We just went Saturday and it was like, hello.
All right, so Tony, hey guys, I have a 2008 Jeep JK, 4 doors, running 2 sets of components, front end
and rear,
and rears, and the top bar, coaxial sound bar, with 3 subs in the back, and running 3 amps.
Wow.
What DSP can you recommend for me to run full active on everything?
DM810
from Chicago.
So you got the so you want to go full active. You're gonna need more amplifiers. I can tell you that right now. Unless you're just so there's different 4 active. So if you just want to do tweeters as a whole, mids as a whole, and subs as a whole, that's a 3-way system. That's real basic. You can do that with a DM608. You can do that with a Rockford DSR1 because you're not going to have any fader controls. You're just going to have all the tweeters, all the mids, all the rears, and the only thing you're going to have active is the crossover. At the end of the day, you could do that with a Pioneer radio in network mode. You don't need anything special for that. The problem you're going to run into is if you want to do active with time correction, you're going to need a amp for 2 4-channel amps, 2 4-channel amps, and a mono sub amp because you're going to need a tweeter mid, that's 1 amp, tweeter mid, that's 2 amp, subwoofer would be 3 amps. So not knowing I don't know what kind of amps you have. If you have 2 4-channels and a mono block, then the DM810 is going to give you the ability to control that. Right. So that's what you'd be looking at. Definitely check that out. Because that'll have enough channels to do all that.
Alright, so...
That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, that'd be DM810. Okay.
DM810. Alright, so I just finished my system and add an iPad dash in my system.
Awesome.
I have a SCAR 4-channel, mids and highs, and the SCAR 2000 for my L7 kicker Q class.
Wow.
And then the 360, the Rockford.
Okay.
My question is, should I connect my Bluetooth or should I use a simple to connect the iPad to the 360?
I mean, I would try the Bluetooth first to see how that sounds. Yeah, okay, I take that back. No, okay, so really it comes down to the end of the day, if you're trying to do the sound quality, I would want to get the cleanest signal out of the iPad possible into the processor. Doing Bluetooth isn't necessarily going to give you that. Bluetooth is pretty good. Now there's some really nice add-on Bluetooth pieces that are awesome, but at the end of the day I still feel that wired would probably give you the best signal into the DSP, for sure. And at the end of the day, the guy to ask on that or even do research on is going to be Rafa or Soundman, because they're the 2 guys that do that all the time, and they're probably going to tell you the same thing you want wired. Because I know he goes wired out of his iPad into the Sony.
And Rafa does like a lot,
I would say wired. If I was to do anything, I would do wired. I mean, I run my iPhone wired into my radio because I want it to sound the best possible.
All right. So Brian, even through you guys might not do it.
Right.
Okay, so it's like it's a fine to mount the amplifier on top of the dual prefab box. As far as long term vibration causing the amp to go bad, all will be perfectly fine.
Okay, so.
And what company it's a good for prefab boxes?
Okay, so let's take that in two parts. First part would be a good company to get a pre-manufactured box. I'm not going to say prefab. Prefab, for some reason, sounds like a terrible word, and it's not. But we'll say pre-manufactured, meaning a company that makes boxes for us. We use A-Trend. We use Q-Power on the low-end side if you just like want a down and dirty, inexpensive box. Otherwise, go with an A-Trend. Or if we need something that is hand-built, custom-made, to order, we use Bright Star Car Audio. They're local here. They'll build us anything they want. They'll build you anything you want, and they'll ship it right to you. So those are the three. Now, that's just three. If there are more, we do some Fox boxes. We do. There's a couple other boxes we do too, but those are the couple we use that I can think of off the top of my head. So now the second part of the question is, what do you think about mounting your amplifier to the box? That is one of the trickier questions to ask. Now, looking back over the almost 29 years, July of doing this. I can tell you, for the first good portion of my career, mounting the amplifier to the box was the only way to do it. I mean, the only way to do it. I did it all the time. Never had an issue. It's no big deal. One of the main reasons why we don't mount amplifiers to the box is, one, theft, because if someone, they'd steal the box out of the car, they stole your whole system.
Yeah.
Two, I like to lay an amplifier flat, which means I want, putting it under the seat or on the floor. Usually, that's a better option. Three, we put them underneath seats so people can't get to them. We don't have to worry about people screwing with the amplifiers, turning the dials and whatnot. But can you mount an amplifier to the box? So, we don't really do it much anymore. Actually, I don't think we've done it in years. What I like to do is if I have to mount an amplifier to a box, what I try to do is I try to build an amp board that is separate from the box. So it's actually like if we're folding down the seat, there's a board here that's an L shape that mounts to the floor, and the box slides up to the back of it. So that they're not, it's like two pieces of wood, so that they're not,
vibration is not
the amp is attached to the box, the amp is attached to an amp board of like 3/4 or 5/8 that is then backed up to the box, so that wall is now a double wall. It's extra thick. They're not attached. They might just be screwed in together, but they're not like glued together, so to speak. So that the vibration, the expansion, and stuff like that there's a barrier there. That's what I prefer to do. Now, there again, over the years, I've done some crazy stuff as far as mounting the amplifiers on top of the box, around the box, over the box, in the box. It's all been done. If you have a high enough quality amplifier, it shouldn't be an issue. But then again, I've seen amplifiers that, dude, they fall apart just sitting on the floor. So, I don't know. I don't think it's an issue. I mean, Steve Meade just did that system for his buddy.
Yeah.
And he mounted all the amps on top of the box, and he put some freaking gigantic subs in that box. So, people still do it all the time. It's just, why not? I mean, I would put risers underneath the amplifier so that they're off of the box, so they're not just sitting on the box getting the crap beat out of them. That helps too. That's always nice.
All right. What's a good 5 1/4 4-hole door speaker?
So 5 1/4s typically suck. There's no question about that. Yeah. Are there nice 5 1/4s out there? Yeah, there are. We just ordered in a set of Focal 5 1/4s for the Corvette that we did, only to find out that they weren't gonna fit at all because they were just massive.
Yes.
Pioneer makes the TSD 5 1/4, which is a nice 5 1/4 at a reasonable price. And then my personal favorite 5 1/4, like that, if I have to use a 5 1/4, which is what we end up using in the Corvette, is the Audison Prima 5 1/4. Yeah. It's not crazy money. It's expensive. It's expensive, but it's not like, screw it. It's just expensive. But the Prima 5 1/4, I feel, is like, if I have to do a 5 1/4, that's the one I want.
What's up, Bill? Bill Freeman.
Oh, hey, Bill. So, anyways.
All right, AJ, Dana, what's going on? Dana, will the Rockford 751 run to P3 D410s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We run them on. Yeah, we do that. Yeah, that's no big deal.
All right, hey guys.
It's 1,000 watts, so it'll power the crap out of them.
Hey guys, from Jacksonville, Florida. I want to add a big screen Tesla style radio to my Ram 1500 2014.
Yeah.
What do you recommend? Like the 2019 Ram has installed.
Yeah, I mean, there's that one company that's building that. I can't think of the name of them right now. But what's it called? Like Lynxwill or Lynxwix or something like that. They make one for that car, I think. At the end of the day, it's an Android style radio. It's starting to become like popular. That's why Alpine came out with the Helix 309. So that they could build something that is big and reliable and looks cool in the dash. Right now, we haven't done any, and it's kind of a sore spot for I know a lot of dealers because this stuff is just really crappy. Everybody wants it. Right now, I don't know. I got nothing on that one.
All right, so I've been waiting so long for this. Please help me. Steven. I got a 4200 NEX with a data link and a 2011 base model Toyota RAV4.
Okay.
For some reason, the factory aux and the car information isn't working.
Yeah.
But everything at least works. Best Buy seems to figure it out to the problem.
Okay.
And all the local shops never or hardly work with a data link. Any idea, please? I tried flash the mile. Nothing, reflash it, nothing. They all claim I can retain the aux even through I got the T01 Toyota wire harness and everything.
So so here's the thing you got to keep in mind when it comes to a smart harness or any harness for that matter. If the wires that it's trying to see aren't there, then it's not going to work. So for example, Toyota has a multitude of harnesses, and they have, the wires are in several different locations. So, for example, when we use we've done several videos on like Toyotas. Like I know we did one on a Highlander that was just on a Highlander where we used these plugs, and the problem that you run into is that Toyota moves around their data bus plugs. They're not always in the same spot. So like if you look at an RP4 TY11, RP4.2 TY11, it comes with all these different plugs that have wires that are looped into different spots. And the aux works the same way, the data works the same way. If the data is not in the pinned behind where it needs to be from the factory, then iData doesn't know how to read it. Mm-hmm. Now, with that being said, iData has some of the best tech support in the industry. These guys that work there are really, really smart. And what I would suggest doing is with your radio out of the dash so that you can see the harness is give them a call and say, hey, listen, I've done this. Now, if you flash the module, they actually have the ability to say, okay, what's your username and password, or what email did you use? And they can look up when you flash the module and tell you exactly what car it's flashed on, what flash you did, and know everything about that module when you plugged it in. How many times you flashed it, they know all that shit. Call them and say, hey, look, this is the problem I'm having. This is what they're telling me. What am I missing here? What CAN bus wires are not, or LAN bus wires are not where they need to be? Is this normal for my car? And they'll be able to answer that for you. So definitely give them a call, but do it with the radio out of the dash so that you can actually see the harness.
All right, so do the Kenwood Double DIN have any type of thief protection? No.
They used to have a password that you could enter in some of them. Yeah, I think they still do. I think there's like a password you can create. Yeah. Well, they have to, because we still have to. We still get people that have plenty of cars that are locked out of the Kenwood. So I know there's a password, but the password's easily bypassed. So no, I mean the best protection. The best protection for your car is great insurance. At the end of the day, I've had my car broken into not this one, but previous cars that I've owned.
Yeah.
And it's the insurance. At the end of the day, I always tell, I have pictures, I have receipts, and I talk to my insurance people. I say, hey, listen, I put a stereo in my car. It's worth this amount of money. I have this. I have this. Is this going to be covered? If it isn't, what do I have to do to make sure it is covered? It's a phone call away. They'll answer that question. They'll tell you what you need. If it's part of the car, if it's bolted down, some insurance companies have specific criteria in order to cover it. But that is the best way to protect your equipment, hands down.
How about the Vegas hockey team?
Oh, geez, the Knights, yeah, they're killing it.
Go Knights.
Yeah, they are. They're doing good. Go Bolts.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Philip, no problem. He say thank you for the info of the inline fuses.
Yeah.
You guys have a video in 2005, the Nally stereo install.
I'm sure.
Yes, on the
install diaries.
And
there again, we wanted to catalog all that stuff to make it easy for you guys to search, but I just don't have the time.
Donnie, have you guys installed on the 2003 Town & Country? I need some ideas where to place 2 amps. Because there is no space under the seats. I know.
No, there isn't.
Oof.
It's funny you mentioned that because I think we just had that Town & Country in the other day.
Yeah.
Well, was that a Town & Country? I thought that was a Honda. No, the one that we had in for the 6x9s in the rear the other day that we had put the 5-channel in.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a riser to fit it up underneath the passenger seat.
And the passenger seat. That was a Kenwood 5-channel.
We put a Kenwood 5-channel up underneath the passenger seat.
Have to be small.
Yeah, if you're trying to put big amplifiers in there, forget it, man. It's not going to happen. You either have to give up stow and go, or
it's no.
You just got to go small amplifiers.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And that's why, like these new Rockford T-Series, or they're not new, the Rockford Power Series T amplifiers, like the 404, the 750.1, that are this big,
What's up, Big Fred?
Are so popular because you can put them almost anywhere. And also the ACM, audio controls, the 4.3 or the 2300 and the monoblock 300. If you need something smaller, though, that's why these are really popular amplifiers, because they're smaller footprint in cars like that where there is just no room to put anything unless you're just gonna put it on the box.
All right, so let's see. I have a question, guys. I'm trying to find where my head unit clips with a 5-channel amp. How can I do this? Do I use where the head unit clips or where the amp clips? And how can I do this at home?
So clipping is a funny word.
Yes.
So clipping is distortion. Let's call it what it is. So we want to find out where the head unit distorts and the amplifier distorts, because clipping is one thing that is a mixed bag of crap, and that's the easiest way to say that. We want to figure out where that radio distorts, and there's 2 things that are going on here. Once you turn the volume up on the radio, it sends a distorted signal into the amplifier, and then depending on where you have the gain set on the amplifier, where it distorts the distorted signal. So you can actually do that. You can actually set up a radio to have no distortion, like play it up to where there is no distortion, but then have the amplifier distort the signal out to the speakers. So there's a lot going on there. Now, the way to do it is nothing easy. You can say, hey, listen, without the right tools. You need the tools. At the end of the day, you need tools. Now, you can get an oscilloscope. You can get the $79, $80 oscilloscope that can do this. It's going to be your cheapest way. So if you don't own a digital multimeter, pick the tool up. We have the video on it. It's in the tool drawer. Not tool drawer, the videos, tool time. Okay, we have a whole playlist on tools that we review that we use. We did it on this digital multimeter oscilloscope. Now, it's like $70, $80, something like that. I don't remember. It's cheap. You can pick that thing up, and you can do a multitude of things with it. You can test, it's a full digital multimeter, so you can use it to test your voltage and all the other things that you need to do for car audio. And it has a scope, so you can use it to test your amplifier for distortion. That would be the best, cheapest way to do it. Other than that, obviously tools like a DD1 would be great. That would definitely make your life easier, but there again, it's a one-trick pony. You might want to, unless you're doing friends' cars and stuff like that, I would go for the scope, be cheaper.
All right.
And we show you how to do it in the video, so definitely check that out.
Check this.
Okay.
I have 3 GM 9601 amps with 3 bass knobs.
Oh God.
Problems, they all affect each other.
Yeah.
I can figure it out.
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're not made to be daisy chained. So one of the problems you run into with the Pioneers is, as we've stated before, you need the volume knob plugged in order to get the maximum bass boost out of the amplifier. But if you're running 3 of them, what do? Well, the easiest solution for that is to plug them all in, turn them all up, and then go with an external subwoofer volume control. Do you know where that's at? I got it.
Yeah.
Now PAC makes this piece right here, which is called the LC1. All right. Now what the LC1 is, I will just open it. It's a bass knob. Okay, old school bass knob. Okay, it's got RCA's on it right here, real cool. Okay, and you just turn it up and down. Okay, so this turns up and down the signal going into the amplifier. So what this is used for is, obviously this for you would be great because you only have a single RCA going into it. Obviously using the radio sucks. Put this guy in. This is full 0 off is all the way up. That's another thing that sucks about the Pioneer bass knob. It doesn't full 0 off. It just turns it down lower. So pick yourself up an LC1. Okay, just plug the bass knobs in, turn them up, put them behind a panel, do whatever you need to do. And stop trying to wire them all together and stuff like that, because Pioneer never designed those amplifiers with the idea that someone would actually do that.
All right.
Short-sighted on their part, I know.
All right. Is there a way to strip 8, 4, and 0 gauge consistently without cutting 3 or 4 striplers? I usually miss them, and
yeah, like a really nice stripper. Yeah. No, not that I've found. I mean, what we use is the
yeah.
Where's that at? Is that over here?
Yeah, it's right there.
Where's it at?
Right there on the stinger wire. Yeah. What size, John? Butch.
You know, we use the Klein or some.
Butch.
Butch.
Say
hey,
hello.
Butch. Hey, Butch. What's going on? I said hi to Frances. She's a great dog. We want.
Yeah.
That was a dog. All right, so we use these to cut the wire. A lot of people use these too. But yeah, I have yet to find an awesome way to strip without getting a couple little silvery things. You know, you cut it enough, you kind of know where to stop. That's really the easiest way to think about it.
All right, so let's see. You say hi to Ada. Ada is late.
Oh, hey, Ada. How's it going, buddy? Hey, we're going to go to Knowledge Fest. I need to talk to you about that because I have never been and I have no idea, and you seem to know because you've been. So we need to talk.
Anyways, go. Jason.
And it's your fault too, by the way. I just want to let you know.
Yes, you are actually. Yeah. What do you think is the best sounding factory system you ever heard?
It would probably be in a Mercedes-Benz. As much as I hate their systems, I feel like the Mercedes-Benz does the best job at trying to keep their systems sounding as clean as possible. But they're also the systems I hate the most because they never distort. Very rarely do they distort. Yeah. Okay, and what I mean by distort is that they have natural roll-offs that they keep the speakers from outperforming. Where's the beep?
That's the beeping.
Go ahead and shut that thing off. That's not going to stop. But some of the Mercedes-Benz to me have sounded the best that I've ever heard in a factory system, which they should considering how much they cost. You know, and obviously some of the worst I've ever heard have to be Nissan and Toyota.
What's up, Daniel?
Course, I tell you what, the Camaro that we just did, that 2017 Camaro we did over the weekend, was that over the weekend? It was an SS Camaro we did with the bass amplified stereo, meaning it had the amplifier, but it had no subwoofer. It was the crappiest sounding thing I'd ever heard. I was like, wow, this sucked. I mean, it sucked bad. Thankfully, she was adding subwoofers because, wow, man, that sucked so bad. I've never heard anything suck that bad. I mean, wow, just garbage.
Yeah.
It was a shame to say I owned a Camaro. But mine sounds okay for factory.
All right. Shout out to Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma.
Nick Stereo. All right. Hi, guys. Where can I purchase the big screen radio? Oh, yeah, I already.
Yeah.
Never mind. Let's see. Okay, go check you guys on Instagram. I send you a picture for my setup and the wiring.
Galvin. Okay, I'll check it out.
What speaker will you use on a 2012 smart car? I want to also have some back speakers for surround. Listen to rock.
Yeah,
and
I would check out the So Rockford makes the Punch series, and in the Punch series they make like a 6, a 6.5, and a 6 3/4. I believe the 6 was it the 6 we fit in there?
Yes.
It was the 6 because the 6 is the shallowest out of them, and you need something shallow because of the way your window rolls down. Yeah. Of course, you have to pull the exterior of the door off, which if you haven't seen it on YouTube, there's plenty of guys out there that I think have a video. We probably even have one too. But I believe the Rockford 6, the Punch series, is what we've done in those for that loud. As far as in the rear, I think the last one we did, Paul sold them these here. This is like show and tell day. Paul sold them these Rhino Line 6x9 boxes.
Yeah.
That we put in the back with some Punch 6x9s. Yeah, wasn't perfect. It wasn't clean, but it's what the guy wanted. He drives around with his doors off and his top down and all that other stuff. He thinks it's a Jeep. It was pretty cool. It was loud. It was all he wanted. So. You know, sometimes we do things and we just kind of scratch our heads.
We mount soap boxes to the cars. Do you guys think it's overkill?
No. No. You know, my only thing with mounting the sub box to the car is that it has to be, if the customer wants us to mount the sub box to the car, we'll figure out a way to do it. But we always try to do it in a way that if they get a flat tire, they can get to it. Because that's important. I mean, I've been stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire and with my subwoofer box sitting on top of it, scratching my head going, apparently I need to deinstall my whole stereo so I can get to my tire. And that sucks.
Alright, Tommy, I have a 2013 Tundra and I want the full cal K2s.
Oh, don't we all?
Will they fit? Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. No
yeah,
problem.
Why wouldn't they? Now, are they going to bolt right in? No. No, you're going to have to make pods or panels. You're definitely going to have to make panels. Yeah. But they will fit. So, but you're going to have to make something. It's not like you're just going to pull them out of the box and go, it doesn't work like that. It's a Toyota.
All right, full cal or punch speakers for the sound bar. Huh?
Full cal or punch for the sound bar?
Yes, on the Jeep Wrangler.
You know, we do a lot of punch. And if you just want loud, punch is great. If you want
T2s.
something, well, that's power. That's not punch. That's power.
Oh, I'm sorry, power.
If you just want loud, punch is great. If you want it to sound good and be loud, go for the focals. You know, it all comes down to price and budget. So, and the focals are going to be a little bit more money, but you're going to get a little bit more out of them as far as quality goes. But then again, it's a Jeep. It's noisy anyways. You know, so that's one of those problems, you know, when selling those. It's like, okay, what are we trying to do? Are you a hard top guy all the time? Are you a soft top guy? What, you know, and then you work your way around. Like you said, the T2s in a Jeep are great. They just, yeah. I mean, and also too, we just did a Jeep with a set of, which we did a video on, with a set of the Pioneer Z series, high-res speakers, and those were really nice too in the Jeep. Holy crap, those are really nice.
All right, so actually, affordable. Jeremy posted a password for the Kenwood.
Yeah, K-Car.
It was K-Car, yeah.
Well, we have there. Okay, so K-Car is the password for Kenwood. The problem is there's, depending on the radio you have, there's like 10 different ways you have to enter that. And I have a PDF, and anytime anyone has that, I email them the PDF that Seth, remember Seth last week, put together. Which he probably doesn't want me to say any of this, so just pretend like you didn't hear any of that. Redact all that. But yeah, so, and you also need a remote with a keypad, so there is some difficulty to
Viper
it.
Viper CTP program. There you go.
But anyways.
Please let me know you size shirts. I will send you guys from Modesto Mountain shirts.
I like an extra large because I like them roomy. I like to look silly. You know, I got a lot of neck room. And he
medium.
wants a medium.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. It's a real problem using quality 4-ohm speakers to replace stock 2-ohm speakers?
Okay, so this is a great question. Only because it comes up quite a bit. Now, there's a lot of different arguments as far as, okay, so when you have those factory Infinity systems or the Boston Acoustic or whatever, JBL, and they have that crappy 2-ohm speaker in it. In the past, Infinity and JBL had a aftermarket 2-ohm, but they've since changed that from a 2-ohm to like a 3.3, 3.4 ohm, because what they were finding is that these radios, they can't handle a 2-ohm load, and people would buy those speakers and these radios, and then Crutchfield would get everything back, and so Crutchfield was upset, so, which I can only assume it's Crutchfield because they're the only people that really sell those speakers. So they've since changed those. Now, depending on the speaker you buy, they're not all 4-ohm speakers. 4-ohm is just a generic term used to describe that. When you actually meter them, there again, we don't want to get too crazy in that because some technical goofball will go through, oh, and I'll be like, whatever, dude. So if you take, like, let's say a Focal Hertz DC speaker, that when you meter it, it's like 3.4 ohm, okay? Throw it into that system, it's going to sound great. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be no problem. Take something like a, let's say a Rockford speaker that's like a 4.4 ohm speaker rests at. It's not going to, you're going to lose some volume, okay? Performance-wise, it's going to sound way better. Volume-wise, it's going to be decreased. Now, we've ran into some situations with Nissans that have the 2-ohm speaker in the back, that back 6x9. And, you know, we took that 2-ohm speaker out. We put a 4-ohm aftermarket speaker in, and it sounded terrible. But it didn't sound terrible because of the fact it was a 4-ohm speaker. It sounded terrible because the factory speaker had a really small magnet on it, and it was 2 ohm, which means it's going to have great bass response because it's a small magnet, and it's got a little 18-watt amplifier that's powering it at 2 ohms, so it's getting like 36, 40 watts. So more power, smaller magnet equals a more efficient, boomy speaker in the back. Now we go with our speaker, which is an aftermarket speaker that has a bigger magnet, higher power handling, only getting 18 watts. The thing's not moving. The boominess is gone. Very disappointed person at this point. So it's not necessarily the ohm load that screws things up. It's the bigger magnet, and it's the less efficiency of that aftermarket speaker. My advice, if you can find them, and you're just trying, I mean, it depends. If you're trying to make a system that sounds better, take all that crap out and put in some real stuff. If you're just trying to find something to replace that existing speaker, look at the JBL and the Infinity stuff. You know, it's
have a show live on Knowledge Fest, he said. Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Of course. I mean, if we're there, we're going to be live.
Vicente.
It'll be on Saturday, so yeah, we'll do a live show.
Jeremy actually posts the model number for the dash kit that you need.
Okay.
And for all these people, Jeremy is actually helping out.
We're all going to meet Jeremy because we're going to have him on the show here. I got some dates. I'll get back with you.
I just say we don't care about flat tires.
I don't like getting calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. They suck.
Yeah, right. Saludos, Miguel, to Paso, Texas. Yeah, what's the best front door component set for 2013 F-250 Super Duty?
Alright, so component sets for F-250 Super Duty, what year?
2012.
So that's still going to be the 5x7. That's a
2013.
Tough one. That's still going to be a 5x7. So, alright. The Super Duty is a fun little truck. So if it has the factory system that has the tweeters up high, a lot of the times what we do, because there's so little space for sound and the cab is so big, is we'll go with a set of Rockford Power Series 5x7s, which are the T series, because those are the best sounding 5x7s, period. I don't care. You can have your favorites. Those are mine. And then we'll do a set of T1 tweeters up in the factory tweeter spot, so that gives us tons of sound coming out of the front of the vehicle, okay? Now, you're not going to get the greatest, like if you're trying to do wine and cheese, you know, like time correction and all that silliness, yeah, it's not going to do that all that well. Yeah. But if you're just looking for loud, good sound coming out of the front of this giant vehicle, you're going to get it. It's going to be there.
Bye, Indy. Thank you for watching.
Other than that, you know, you could fit a 6.5 component by doing a little modification like the Alpines. They come with, like the Alpine R-Types, come with a bracket to go, their 6.5 component. Comes with a 5x7 bracket so that you can mount it in the 5x7 location and have their 6.5. You can do that with theirs. That's kind of like the alternative to that. Focal makes the Universal series, which makes a 5x7 component, which is really nice too. But my first suggestion is that. And with that, it's been an hour. It's been painful because I haven't been able to see these. I want to apologize again for all you guys that are watching this on the replay. What did Ada say?
Absolute. That's his.
Absolute. Yeah, it's a great drink, supposedly.
We need shirts. That's what he said.
I know. So I apologize to the guys that watch this on the replay. Don't get to watch the comments. We got to figure out what's wrong with this. What do you got?
Be the last one.
All right, you got one more
question? For Corey, I have a 2006 Nissan Titan with a Rockford system, dual climate control. I have the aftermarket radio already, and I wish to bypass the amp. It's any harness I can use to knock out the harness.
Yes, we have a video on that. It's called the Titan 911 video. It's in the playlist for whole systems. Just look for Titan 911 video. We go through that whole thing in there and we show you how to make the harness. So we do high level on that one, but it'll work the same. You'll see what I'm talking about when you watch it. We go all, just watch that video and you'll be all set. All right, guys, so Patreon if you want to. DNF tool drawer to buy tools that we use in our videos, like that cool
yes, we go to Knowledge Fest.
Yes, we are going to Knowledge Fest. We'll talk more about that later. To educate you guys on what it is, because we're going to help our boy Ada with something.
We're going to support.
And then just a big thanks. I don't know what I'm missing. Oh, Teespring/store. Pick up your 5-star. If you're an old school guy, he's got shirts up there too. You can pick up old school car stereo shirts. No Jason tonight, huh?
Yes, Jason. Yeah,
Jason was here. All right, Jason, you can find it at Stereo Kings on YouTube. He's in Oregon. If you're in Oregon, they got 4 or 5 stores. They got a bunch of stores. Go check him out. Ada is in Washington, Delaware.
No.
Absolute Audio. Check him out.
Check him out. Support. And
German works for Pack.
Ada, that's extra large, medium.
All right, guys, we're gonna head out. Enjoy your week. Listen.
Bye, Jason. Bye, Ada.
There will be
thank you.
Real quick. There'll be no live show on YouTube Saturday. We're going to do a pre-recorded Q&A from the videos that we have, and then there'll be no show Monday. Remember, no show following Monday because of the holiday. We're going to have fun this weekend. I'm going to Disney. You're going to Orlando to have fun there. And we hope you guys all have fun this weekend. You might get another little pop-up this week when we try to figure out what the heck happened and why this broke. But otherwise, you guys have a safe, wonderful week, and we'll talk to you later next time.
Bye.